Let's be honest, built-in webcams tend to suck. They have small sensors, they can't handle light very well, and they honestly always seem to be blurry. Like, if I wasn't mistaken, I'd say you recorded it with like an old school Razor like flip phone or like a Sidekick. Like, it's time we step up our game, right? It's time we talk about the Insta360 Link 2. So what's the problem with built-in webcams? Well, besides the fact that they have a smaller sensor that's usually built like a quarter of an inch in size, it allows less light due to its smaller pixel density. So you also get that, and you're only really finding that even though they're rated at 1080p, you're getting the bare minimum needed in megapixels to handle that 1080p, which, like, it looks like shit. The Link 2 is just one of two brand new cameras by Insta360. You have the Link 2 and the Link 2C. Both offer alternatives to your built-in webcam and are very similar in specs, except one is gimbal based and the other isn't. Now, before we get into this video, let's put up this little disclaimer. Insta360 did reach out to me, and they actually sent me the Link 2 to review. Now, they don't get to say anything in this video, and all the thoughts are all of my own. There's no money involved, no money exchange, there's no money truck at my studio, which would be nice, but it's not.
I'm rich, bitch!
So, it's just my raw, pure, unfiltered opinion. Okay, let's dive in. So what is the Link 2 exactly? It's a 4K webcam with built-in AI subject tracking and audio enhancements. Now, who is this for? Maybe you're a working professional, maybe you're an educator, or you're just a live streamer. This camera is going to bring that perfect balance between both video and audio to your content and elevate it beyond what a built-in webcam could do. Now, I've seen my fair share of webcams, right? And Insta360 is a very well-known company, so I expect the best of the best with the Link 2. Like, is it going to actually meet a casual streamer or even a professional streamer's needs? When it comes to any camera, the first thing that's most important to me, honestly, is the video quality. Like, can the camera actually hold up to what it's said to offer?
I don't know.
So, let's break down this camera, right? The Link 2 is equipped with a 1/2-inch sensor that you can capture up to 4K 30 video in HDR, either in portrait or landscape mode. Now, the lens should be an equivalent to that of like a 26mm lens with a 1.8 aperture rating, so I expect decent bokeh as well as good lighting, especially in low light scenarios. A true test with any camera is to put it in auto settings, like auto everything, auto white balance, auto shutter speed, auto ISO. The reason we do this is because we're going to see the true internal calculations of the camera and just how it handles in that mode, especially for like a standard user. So not everyone's an advanced shooter like I am, right? So they're not going to be setting with the different or messing around with the different ISO settings or the different shutter speeds. They just want to out the box run with it. So that's what we're going to test today. So let's take a look at some of the raw footage that I was able to shoot with this camera. Welcome to raw footage. So the only thing that's really lighting this scenario right now, I have my Elgato light strip here, right? And I have an Amaran 60X that is like a 60-watt lamp. Right now it's at 31% being controlled. And this is what you get with just that. I can turn it down even to like 20%-ish, and you can still see just how well it adjusts. I'll turn it up to like 60%, which is bright as heck. This should compensate for it just a little bit, but of course, you know, I'm asking a lot of it to readjust. An area where a lot of webcams do fail, though, is in badly lit or poor lit scenarios. Like, of course, right now, I have a full studio setup. Like, I have every streamer's dream with lights and webcams everywhere. But if we actually turn off these lights and just let the computer screen work, how is this camera going to hold up? Let's reconnect this. So I got my Amaran 60X right now. That's my main light. I'm going to go ahead and shut that off. So this is low light mode. Literally, I just have a blue ambient light. I have my blue light over here. You probably can't even see. There's like a small little lamp back there. And you were just seeing the light that's raining off my laptop right now. That's all that's lighting this. Not too bad for low light, especially blue light, which is by far one of the harshest of lights for any webcam to deal with. Usually it integrates noise, you know, gross pixelation, stuff like that. But I mean, it looks pretty decent. Now, another big thing you see in cameras is this whole product showcase or product focus, right? And the Link 2 actually shines when it comes down to its true focus because of that aperture setting. Like, yes, you could use the AI to enhance the bokeh features, but just naturally, whenever you put a product against the camera, you can actually see just how well it focuses on the product and head, and it separates the background from the foreground. So when it comes to AI, the Link 2 really doesn't fall short on its abilities. You have image tracking and smart framing, and that's a pretty huge feature in this Link 2. Now, you can control the tracking simply with hand gestures, or you could use the on-device button. If you want to go ahead and get even crazy with using the combined desktop app, that's where really you unlock a lot of these extra features, right? So you can set up to like 10 presets or framings for whatever works for you. Maybe you're doing like a bigger stream, you're casting it, and you have like a huge room and you want different like focuses and zooms. It works like that. But you also have the ability to like pause tracking areas. So like maybe you're doing like live demos of like merchandise or shops and you want to be able to show off product, so you can track when you walk from like one set to another. So that's really cool. The one AI feature that I probably say is my favorite of all the features is its microphone. Now, I know you're like, what do you mean the microphone? Like, how's that the best feature on the camera? Look, I'm not going to point any fingers, but there are some streamers out there who have the mic set up like the nice professional mic, but they have custom keyboards and those things clack. Like, it's like so this is really where the AI thrives. They have a voice focus mode and it's kind of insane. And when I tested it, but like you could full on hide all those clickety clacks of the keyboard with the voice focus mode. Like, check this out.
Yeah, so I got something to annoy my house. Play some white noise. So let's turn it up. Now imagine if I'm talking and you have full blast like a fan going at you. You should be able to hear my voice and hopefully not hear this. Can you actually hear this? So again, here's another test of voice focus. So like my kids are talking in the background. I'm going to go ahead and just start clapping really loud and annoy everyone in my house right now. But you can't hear me clapping. How weird is that?
Okay, so there's one more feature that we kind of have to highlight because we live in this world of short form, but it's the fact that this camera works in landscape and portrait mode. So whether you're using some kind of tripod or you have a mounting point, you can actually move this camera into a portrait mode and capture 4K 30 9:16 footage. So now all your short form content is going to be recorded in high quality. Then you can take it, edit that, throw it onto your Instagram Reels, your YouTube Shorts, or your TikTok. So that's a really cool feature to have, especially for a camera like this. So there's another feature called desktop mode. So if you're a creator or a streamer and you want to show like maybe your keyboard movements, your mouse movements, you could actually click on the desktop mode and it'll automatically angle the camera so that way it can record your desktop space without having to worry about like manipulating the camera or remounting it and all that. So that's a cool feature as well. The feature that it started with the original Link camera is the whiteboard mode. So you can use these 4 special QR code like place markers, and whether you have like a whiteboard or just a white surface, you could use this then to create what's called whiteboard mode. So that way your camera knows where to focus and enhance it. So that way, especially if you're like in meetings, you know, business sales calls, stuff like that, or you're an educator, you could directly go to your whiteboard in whiteboard mode and the camera will automatically recognize it when you click on that hotkey or that shortcut. So that's another cool feature in a world where basic webcams have flooded the masses. I'm sorry, I had to do it. All right, so check this out, right? Look, in our current environment, there are a ton of webcams, both built-in and external, right? The market is flooded. But when you see companies like Insta360 bringing this kind of high-powered tech into something like the Link 2 and putting that out the market at a sub 200 price point, like, it's a blessing, and I'm honestly impressed. Like, starting at $199, you could get the Link 2 and elevate not only like your workspace and your content, but like you could just really up that bar just a bit. I said it before, I came into this video with high expectations from Insta360. They are the leaders of action cameras, 360 cameras. I expected them to be the leader of webcams. Now, it's safe to say that they did meet my expectations, if not surpass all of them, when it came down to the Link 2. Now, I will say though, because it's not all positive, I do want to leave one constructive criticism. Now, if I could ask for one thing specifically, it would be an actual full integration of the camera control with the Stream Deck. Now, the reason I say this is Elgato's Stream Deck is like the most popular control system in the market today. And in their reference material, they talk about how you could use hotkeys in the app and then control those hotkeys in your Stream Deck. Real quick, Editor Joe here, and I realized that you can do what's called universal hotkeys in the app. So you can actually override any hotkeys preset or like apps that have different like key combinations. Now the good thing is, again, you can control your camera with those hotkeys, but the bad thing is if you are, having different hotkeys in like OBS or stuff like that, like Option T is a very common one you can use in like Final Cut for different transitions, attacks, and stuff like that. I can't use it with the universal hotkey because that also turns on auto tracking. So again, it can do it, but you're gonna have to sacrifice in other apps. So this is where a true integration really could be beneficial. All right, back to the real video. So if anything, that's like the one thing I would love to see from Insta360. They have a cool feature, right, where if you have the desktop app, you can scan the QR code and you can control the camera with your phone, which that's pretty cool. But like most of us are streamers are rocking at least one Stream Deck, so being able to control it with a couple buttons or pre-program those presets with those buttons versus hotkeys, then I give 10 out of 10. Otherwise, I give it like a 9.5. So I've said my piece. But what do you think? Is the Link to the camera you've been waiting for, or the camera you didn't even know you needed? I would say if you're interested in any of the Insta360 new cameras, like the Link 2 or the Link 2C, check in my description below for the link. It's going to take you to the webpage. You can find out a ton more and look at maybe what camera fits best for your price point and your setup. Otherwise, if you made it this far to this video, I would love for you to comment link in the description below. That tells me you paid attention all the way to the end. Okay, I'm Joe. This has been Matsu XL. As always, appreciate you guys. Catch you next time. Peace.